everyone. Good morning. My name is Reverend Zina, for those of you who don't know me. And I'd like to also welcome anyone who is live streaming with us today and let you all know that whoever you are and wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you're welcome here. Our vision here is really about having an open door, open heart, and everyone is welcome no matter what your background is. And so I just want that to be really front and center as we move into not only this talk, but growing as a spiritual community in the days ahead. Let's go ahead and turn it over to Tabor and the wonderful band for a little bit of music.
All right. Well, good morning, everyone. If you're able and you can stand with us today, let's sing into this day together. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Walking and talking with my mind staying on spirit. Oh yes, walking and talking with my mind staying on spirit. Walking and talking with my mind staying on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. You can't blame your neighbor, can't blame your neighbor with your mind staying on spirit. You can't blame your neighbor with your mind staying on spirit. You can't blame your neighbor with your mind staying on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Let's sing it out. I woke up this morning with my mind staying on spirit. Oh yes, I woke up this morning with my mind staying on spirit. I woke up this morning with my mind staying on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Sing hallelujah, hallelujah. Time. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Yeah, thanks for waking up together this morning. Why don't you take a minute to greet some of those lovely faces out there? If you're on social media, let us know where you're tuning in from. Y'all ready? I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place, the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. We got the kids coming up. I know, I'm just wondering if we have a teacher. So teacher's coming up?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Cheryl Peterson.
I was like, I'm looking, I'm like, okay, we have a kids program. You're here, okay.
And we have kids.
I just never
Come
know.
on.
There's like, sometimes it's a surprise. You just like morphed from the seats.
It's
all right, so we have a kids program, lovely outdoor kids program, and we're going to sing them out to their classroom, the outdoor classroom today. Let's sing Hooray for the World. Hooray for the world, I'm glad to be on it. Hooray for the world, I'm glad to be on it. Hooray for the world, it's a special place. We got Mother Nature and the human race. The world's got trees and bumblebees, rivers and lakes and the open seas, mountains and valleys and animals too, and a sun that shines on me and you. Hooray for the world, I'm glad to be on it. Hooray for the world, I'm glad to be on it. Hooray for the world, it's a special place. We got Mother Nature and the human race. Got Mother Nature and the human race. I just gotta say, y'all, you're singing so boisterously this morning. It sounds amazing. Thanks for singing.
Isn't that nice? I know, right? Welcome, everyone. How are you? Good, good. It's Labor Day, right? Are y'all enjoying it? 3-day weekend, right? Yes. Fabulous. All right. Listen to you. Okay, hi, I'm Michael Tatlock. I'm practitioner of the day, and I'm ably assisted by the fabulous Wanda Maddox here. Thank you so much. And everybody just take a nice deep breath. Sort of relax. You got a 3-day weekend, people. Just close your eyes and sort of absorb that, because there's just one power, one presence, one beingness that is based in love, that is based in happiness and joy. And from that love comes everything. And I know that for myself and for everybody gathered here in person or online, love carries us through. And the one thing that we get to do that's so easy is just surrender to it. Surrender to the love that's the basis of who we are and who we want to project out into the world. And as we surrender, we grow bigger, we expand, we evolve, we rise. And that's all good. And from this goodness, I know that for myself and for everyone who's listening to my voice right now, we're raised up. And we become bigger and better than who we are. So we just surrender. Just like exhaling. And that's good. And so all I have to say now is, and so it is.
All of me designed to perfection. All of me beautiful and sacred. All of me a wonder, expression of the infinite. All of me pure light divine. Let's sing sing all of me together again. All of me designed to perfection. All of me beautiful and sacred. All of me a wonder, expression of the infinite. All of me pure light, divine. All is love. All is love. All is light. All is love. All is light. All is love. All is light. All of me, pure light, divine. All of me designed to perfection. All of me beautiful and sacred. All of me a wonder, expression of the infinite. All of me pure light, divine. Let's sing this out together. All is love. All is love. All is light. All is love. All is light. All is love. All is light. All of me, pure light, divine. Let's just use our voices right now. All is love. All is light. All is love. All is light. Really let that settle in your heart. All is love. All is light. All is love. All is love. All is light. All is love. All is light. All of me pure light. All of me pure light, divine. One more time. All of me pure light. All of me pure light, divine. I surrender. I trust and I know as I surrender, I fall into the arms of love. trust and I know as I surrender, I fall into the arms of love. I fall into the arms. I fall into the arms of love.
Tabor, Robin on the drums. We have Kyle on the bass. And who would have known that Eric plays the piano and the keyboards? It's wonderful. What talent we have here, indeed. Well, I guess we're all surrendered up and full of love now, so what's our day going to be like? Expansive, right? Open. It's so interesting how it seems like it's an opposite, but in surrender, in really letting go, in the tears sometimes, in the it really is a place where we get to rise up because there's something so powerful within all of us that meets us wherever we're at. And so today, as we're moving through this talk, I want to kind of bring us to the January theme, which starts at the beginning of the year. So month after month, we've delved deeper and deeper into our soul's compass. And really, in a nutshell, it's that y'all have a GPS right here, probably in our hearts, I would imagine, because that's where I really recognize the spirit within me is in my heart. How open is it? And how closed is it in whatever event I'm in? And when it's closed, I know I'm closing off to the energy and love source that propels and makes the universe whole. And so with that being said, we're already in the 9th month of the year, which is September, my birthday month, for any of you who care. I know, 21 again. What can I say? In this month, we're working on this month's topic. Sorry, that's my portable pancreas. This month's... Yeah, so this month's topic is on the purpose of being. And I really like that. And this month's going to be really interesting because we're doing everything starting with on. On the purpose of being is the sort of umbrella of what we're doing. And then we're bringing that down into each week as Dr. Andrea and I kind of switch off as we usually do for the month. And so my talk today is on surrendering to love. And I bring a quote to start with to kind of give us a directional about where I'd like to be going in this talk today, although you all know sometimes where I think I'm going might go somewhere else, but we'll just go along with that. It's all good. Love is not really an action that you do. Doesn't that feel good? Like we don't have to perform in love? How wonderful. Love is what and who you are. It's your deepest essence. And that comes from Richard Rohr. I think of love often in my life, probably because it wasn't modeled as well as it could have been by a couple of folks who tried their best, but it wasn't modeled for them either. And so it's always been an aspiration in my life to always be on the cutting edge of love. Always thinking about love beyond what I thought it was even yesterday. And as I open more fully to that, I realize that there is something gravitationally pulling me and my heart towards experiences and people who show me how to love regardless of what it looks like. And so I bring to you today a couple of things as we move through this, and it's kind of 3 points. What is surrender? Kind of has a negative connotation when we think of it as giving up, right? And then the other side of that is, how do we soften our hearts so that we can rest in the arms of love, as Tabor so beautifully put in her song today. And the other part is really opening our minds to a vaster idea of what we're capable of doing. And the irony, or maybe the divine of it all, is that our world is designed in a way right now that's really testing that, isn't it? It's really like saying, can you love? Are you love? And I think we are, and I think that we can. So I bring this to you. Her name is Sabine Selassie. She's a wonderful Buddhist. Patty actually introduced me to her. In her book, You Belong, A Call for Connection. And so I'd like to just share a little something about what she says about love. Love yourself. This is not about simply tolerating what you don't like about ourselves or others, bearing our faults and challenges as if they are our deserved punishment. Loving yourself asks you to affirm and care for every part of yourself, your body, your mind, your soul, to adore all aspects of your personality, and to appreciate your experiences and even your current life circumstances. Cherish it all the things you think will deride you, even your temper, some cellulite here and there, your depression, or your physical limitations, maybe that jealousy that you hold. You're not only this, but so much more. Life is really an invitation to be grateful to everything, including the things that seem to be the most difficult. And I think that brings us to this idea of surrender. What is surrender? And why do I need to do it? And do I want to do it? We're all at choice. But there's something innate in surrender that I kind of touched on at the beginning, and here in this book by Sabine, it was touched on, and it's really interwoven in all the living wisdom teachings throughout the ages. And we're invited to do it in so many different ways, and I'd like to just kind of bring a couple that come to mind. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Gita, Krishna, who represents the divine, tells Arjuna, who's you and me, and we're always battling and struggling with the sort of like, is there a God, a spirit, an infinite? And if there is one, is it working for me in my life? And Arjuna is the perfect symbolic meaning of that. And he is brought through a spiritual journey where Arjuna learns that it is in surrender that one is able to really open up to a new way of being, a new idea with some old kind of structures that could kind of lead us to think, oh, this is the way it has always been. Or, oh, I'm always in this situation or circumstances. Why am I repeating this? And in this, the divine that represents Krishna tells Arjuna, abandon all varieties of dharma. And dharma is purpose, right? It's kind of the duty we have in life, and I don't mean that in a negative. That our dharma is really our passion. It's what we've been brought here. There's like an etching on our heart that comes from the divine. We're written in the book of life before we even arrived here, and when we come here, we're meant to really do something with that gift. And sometimes that very gift is born from the shadow part of ourselves. And that shadow part is constantly in retaliation. Does anybody relate to retaliation? Like, I want to be expansive, expressive. And no, you can't. What are people going to think of you? Oh, no, don't say that. Oh, my God, don't be that. What if people think you're stupid? What if people think, and that shadow self is that part of us that has a tendency to hold us back from our glorious, wonderful expression. And so here, Arjuna is really is inviting spirit to come to him. And he's told about this from spirit's perspective, that simply surrendering unto me. And when I'm saying me, I'm not saying a deity. I'm not saying, Jesus is the intermediary between us and God, or, the priest in the middle between us and our divinity. It's really this all-encompassing, all-available, all-knowing, intricate connectivity that holds and binds all of it together. And that if we can just for a moment surrender into that, suddenly we're able to do what Eckhart Tolle says, to say yes. Let's breathe that in for a minute. To say yes. That the virtue of surrender is a yes statement to the universe. Yes, I am willing to see things differently. I'm willing to maybe look at my perspective and maybe switch it up a little bit so that what I'm seeing right here and right now might take a different form. And the Christ was perfectly suited to do that, constantly inviting us to change from here within so that our eyesight could see differently. And as we move through that, we're learning surrender is a yes statement. Surrender is going into the divine and allowing ourselves to think there's something bigger that might come through if I'm able to relax into what is the current life challenge or what is the current thing I'm struggling with. The author, Debbie Ford, I don't know, any fans in the house? Yeah, Debbie Ford. I knew Debbie. She was part of Universal Spirit Center. She is a wonderful soul. She transitioned at a very, very young age, but she brought some really dynamic things forward in the time she was here. She also trained with Deepak Chopra, and she was just a light upon the world. And her book, if you haven't read it, I highly suggest you look it up, and it's The Dark Side of the Light Workers. So that gives you a little indication of what we're talking about in this idea of surrender. And she says surrender's a gift. And you can give it to yourself, and once you give it to yourself in faith, then it seems simpler to give it to others in the sense of my surrender into love. And as I surrender into love, suddenly I'm not only lovable within myself, but I see the love within you. And I'm able to have compassion. Because Ernest Holmes, the founder of Science of Mind and Spirit, reminded us of this. He said, nobody's as bad as you think. And nobody's as good as they think. So softening our hearts. Studies have shown that the human body is made up of energy centers, right? And I like this because I'm thinking about Debbie's work in that she had a metaphor for a school bus. And it was the cutest thing, but not really because it was pretty deep. In the sense that we're a school bus driver, we got the controls of this huge, massive bus with all of these children in it, right? And you got the little snotty kid, you got the kid who's like the bully, the one who wants to just, be all right all the time. You got the guy who's like the comedian. You have all of these things that are represented in these children on this bus. And she turns to us and says, you're the bus driver, and all these bus passengers are all inside of you. They all exist in us. And when we do that and see that, then we're able to, I don't know what it is, but suddenly it's like a deep understanding of others and an allowing of others too. A sense of critical thought about ourselves drops, and critical thought outside of ourself drops. And so these energy centers are kind of like when we're holding on to the shadow and we're like scared to let anyone know what might be going on with us, then we're kind of blocking our chakras, right? And chakras are really a beautiful Sanskrit ancient tradition of seeing the body as kakra rather than chakra. That's the Sanskrit word for chakra. And our chakras run all the way from down to our feet, all the way through different areas within our body to our crown, which is the opening aspect of just being a conduit to spiritual truths and wisdoms and understandings and forgiveness towards ourselves and others. It's just that neutral point of pure, unconditional love. And so when we are opening that up, it's said to be the wheels. Each chakra is a wheel. And think of a clog in a wheel, right? Throw the wrench in the wheel, boom, and it's stopping. And so when we have this ache or this, idea or this density or this kind of like we're feeling like, I remember about 4 or 5 years ago, I was in this deep, I would say my deepest, and I've had plenty of spiritual experiences, but it was that place where I felt like everything was like slow motion, right? And it was because I was so bogged down with a past that needed to be released. And yet, hanging on to it was an anchor for me not to have to feel surrender. And yet, through that very act of surrendering, suddenly I felt like all the chakra wheels began to turn and motion and move, and they were working in perfect synchronicity, one feeding the other in this vibrational aspect of aliveness. And where it landed for me was really in my heart. So we accumulate these lower energy centers, and we feel stuck, right? That sense of, as our consciousness rises, and we let go of negativity, our energy tends to rise too. And when we're rising in energy, we tend to rise right here in this place. And put your hand on your heart for a second. Like it's really there. And it's really desiring to open and to experience itself through relationship, through loving not just our tribe and our political stance or our religious beliefs. Like there is a neutral place where it's okay that you believe what you believe, and it's okay that I believe what I believe, and we stand in harmony with the fact that it is all spirit, all of it. So opening the mind. Let's put our hand on our top chakra. Opening the mind. And in opening the mind, there's a difference between opening to thought and opening the mind. It's this vast network, this vast, infinite field that is part of us opening our minds, softening our hearts, and opening our minds. Let's try that. Softening our hearts and opening our minds. Wow, from this vantage point, that looks pretty beautiful. I receive it all. I love it. So when I think of opening my mind, I was glad I was a witness to this and it wasn't my unskilled behavior being expressed out in the world. But I did. I had this really profound spiritual awakening to this idea. I was actually, Patty and I were in a line at a grocery store, pretty simple kind of place, doing our groceries, getting in line. Boom, the person ahead of us was, kind of a hip slip kind of guy. He was, had great energy, fun-loving. And in front of him was a man who was carelessly dressed, right? Little raggy clothing. His hair was a little disshuffled, and he was just kind of making his way with his groceries. And the guy that was between the two of us was looking at him, and he said, "Hey, let me pay for that." And the man stopped in his tracks, and he looked at this young man, and he said, "Thank you, but I can pay for my own." And he had like a big wad of money. And he paid his bill, and he turned around and he said, "Let me pay for that," to the young man behind him. And on a spiritual note, because that's where we're swimming here, folks. We're swimming in consciousness. We're swimming in consciousness that is beyond the limits of our own understanding of where people are, what they should have, who they should be, how they should act. We're in a not a minute rice microwave type of walk, okay? I wish it was that way. I'm sorry to disappoint whoever's here who thought that that's what it was going to be. But the reality is that it's a constant growing, a constant surrender, a constant softening the heart and opening the mind. That day, that simple day, changed me in a way that I'm forever grateful, because it didn't in any way, shape, or form bring a question to mind that was not spirit. Just playing. Just doing that weird spirit thing that it does, right? Where we're like, I don't know, I don't get it, but wow. And each one of us in that line, to the degree that we were hearing it and present to it, were moved and changed. So why do I think we need to know this? Not you, me, all of us. Why I think that is love is transformative. It really is. As we surrender anything, we get to this place that Marianne Williamson, in her great work of Returning to Love, tells us. Our work is to dissolve and to release anything that stands in the way of us loving. And it's not with judgment, like Sabine was saying. It's with acceptance in a lot of ways. It's just really looking at it and saying, hey, man, there is like this light that symbolizes the metaphor of the sun. It's shining, it's bright, it's illuminating, it's calling, it encompasses everything. It absolutely moves the shadow out of the way, and it illuminates. And we have clouds once in a while that are like pierced in there, sprinkled in there, and sometimes it's pretty overcast, right? And so it's about keeping the reminder of the fact that the sun, the illuminated one, the life, the way, the harmony, the good, the whole is always there for us to re-emerge, not from our limited self, but from what Michael's prayer said, our open self. And so we open into this greater, vaster, more interconnected network that understands that your differences are exactly what I need for my spiritual work to not only continue, but to expand. Because if we're holding hands, that's all those suns, holding hands together and illuminating and bringing peace and harmony first and foremost to our own individual lives and to the lives of others, with the ultimate goal of being loving presence on this planet at this time in this place. With no exception, we are here for a very deep purpose. Join me in that purpose, and let's do a small prayer and just come into oneness with this idea and just relaxing into it. Just surrendering anything that might be there knocking. Just think of it as that bus and that little kid, maybe you got that little snotty kid, or you got the kid that's scared or lonely. Just embracing and just knowing that light that is the divine, that spirit that is the divine, is bringing healing elixirs of love. It's just swirling and whirling all around us. Doesn't have any limitation. It doesn't know any limitation. It just is there. It expresses and it grows and it envelops and it transforms and it makes water into wine. It just does what it does. Parts the Red Sea and moves mountains and shakes us right out of our comfort zone just so we can do what? Grow in the awareness and consciousness of it as us. We're in this together, and that's such a beautiful and just resounding excitement and joyous feeling to know that we're one. All of us here, all of us online, all of us everywhere. And so to dissect ourselves or to move away from ourselves is really to move away from our God-centered self. Holy ground. We stand on it. And from there we move forward. It goes behind us, to the left of us, to the right of us, above and below us. This wondrous thing is always present as us. So I let this be, knowing that surrendering is a good place. Softening our hearts, opening our minds, and coming into this gratitude of knowing that we truly are one. And so together we say, if you'd like to join me in affirming this, and so it is. Thank you. I'd like to call the ushers up real quickly here. This probably was a... I'm going to figure out how many people read the announcements now. Because guess what we're doing? It's kind of exciting. Oh, very good. Okay. We have... This is a good... Oh, I'm so impressed. So... These beautiful cards are available on the pillars as you enter the sanctuary on Sunday mornings. This was probably my own little thing where I'm like, God, the basket's going around. I feel really weird not having anything to put in that basket. And so we want you to know that we know the giving that happens here. And we also want a symbolic idea of that giving by this giving intention card. So if you give, whether you give online or you give through our intentional giving program, or you give, once a month or once a year, whatever it is, we are so grateful for all the gifts that are offered by this community. And so these cards are for those folks who, have different giving besides putting money in the basket. And we want that to be symbolic for you as the basket goes along, to go ahead and drop it in the basket and add to the consciousness and abundance that is everywhere present, which we love to share in. Okay, so that's for next time.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day for love. Thank you for this love, Spirit. Thank you for this love. Thank Thank you for this love, Spirit. Thank you for this love, this healing, this healing, this healing love, this healing, this healing, this healing love for peace. Thank you for this peace, Spirit. Thank you for this peace. Thank you for this peace, Spirit. Thank you for this peace. This healing, this healing, this healing peace. This healing, this healing, this healing peace. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
Okay, guess what? I have some announcements. Y'all up for this? I'll make it nice and short for us today. So first off, G for G, which is Gourmets for Good. Oh, do we have something? Oh, yes, I'll get to that. But our Gourmets for Good, we'd like to recognize that we are now into September, and we have had 11 Gourmets for Good. Next year, for those of you who haven't participated, we invite you to participate. It's a really great, usually a food event with an experience that folks put on as hosts. Some people team up to do it, but it will be coming back sometime around, I think, April or May-ish. So please do think about that for next year. And next one is Andrea and Joe Acevedo are doing their Ruin Your Day Fiesta. I'm sure that's going to be really fun, okay? So my class is coming up. It's called Beyond Limits, Practical Spirituality for Dynamic Living. Now, how many of us know a lot about science of mind? How many of us know a little bit about science of mind? A little. It's a whole kind of mishmash of knowledge base, life experience, felt sense of what the philosophy is about. This is, I would consider, a deep dive into the practical spirituality for dynamic living, in that we have 11 principles, stated as our declaration of principles, and we have 10 core concepts. And each of these are universal principles that are backed by universal laws that we can, in very simple articulation, learn how to use in our own life. And that's the basis of this. I hope you'll join me. 8 Tuesdays, 6 to 8:30 p.m., begins on September 19th. Okay, plus we're going to have a half-day workshop that will be that Saturday, the 18th? What was the... Yep, November 18th. Ooh, I remembered that. Woo-hoo. Hey, next one, thank you. Meet Sonora, our newest addition to CSL youth programs. Let's have a little hand for her. She'll be joining us. She actually just recently graduated from Bellingham High School, and we're really focused on this idea of intergenerational community, right? So the littles are just such a big part of that. They're little sprouts that are just wanting to give of themselves and their love. And so the team is coming together really nicely. We've got about, maybe 4 teachers and a lot of parents who are volunteering. And Erin Moore is really kind of spearheading that. Are you in the room, Erin? No? Okay, she's probably watching the children. But it's really wonderful to see that growing so much, especially after COVID. As you all know, there was nothing much growing at that. Well, consciousness was growing. Okay, so next one. Yeah, great. Happy Labor Day. The office will be closed on Labor Day. And next slide, please. Okay, new member meeting. For all of you who are interested in learning more about what it means to be a member of this community, we're putting on this wonderful informational session. It's not obligatory to join as a member. It's more like, if you do attend, you kind of want to know what you're kind of attending, right? And so it gives you a good idea about what we are, how we operate as an organization, what our core value and our mission out into the world is. And it's a great time to also meet other folks. This Sunday, September 17th, 11:45. It is in person, will not, sorry Zoomers, won't be a Zoom offering. But the Ask Me desk, which all of these things can be found out more about, is at the back of the room in the classroom, as well as coffee and some snacks and teas and stuff like that, so we can kind of have a little bit of community building after service. Also, register soon, it says, but I just got word that this is a good problem to have, that our Weaving in Love pine needle basket weaving class is at capacity. I know. Let's hear it for Inaria. She's wonderful, yeah. And she is wanting it to be sort of on a waiting list basis. So if you still have interest in that, don't worry. Go back to the Ask Me desk, put yourself in the interest sign up, and she will make sure that you are, if not accommodated, definitely she'll probably, well, I can't speak for her. Just do that, and we'll see what she does. We already talked about our tithe cards. I didn't want to leave that out at the very beginning, but basically we talked about it. Everyone clear? Yoo-hoo, yeah, all right. I knew you guys got that. Excellent. Ready? Yeah. Let's sing ourselves out. Stand up if you're able, and let's sing ourselves out.
Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument of peace. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument of peace. Where there is hatred, I will love. Where there is hatred, I will love. Where there is sadness, I will bring joy. Where there is darkness, I will shine. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument of peace. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument of peace. Where there is hatred, I will love. Where there is sadness, I will bring joy. Where there is darkness, I will shine. I am an instrument of peace. Sing, I am an instrument of peace. I am an instrument. I am an instrument of peace. I am an instrument of peace. Have a wonderful week. Enjoy your day if you have a day off tomorrow, and we'll see you again soon.